Several years ago, I heard a classic story that included a payoff line that went a little bit like this. Gentlemen, there's 6 billion people in China that have no idea who in the world any of you are. Those are the sage words of an old school, no-nonsense baseball coach named Tim McMullen Sr. Hey, everybody, it's Ed the Trainer, and we'll dig deeper into the meaning on this week's Tips on Tuesday. So I know, you're wondering, Ed, in what context would I ever care whether 6 billion people in China or anywhere around the world knew who I was? You see, that lesson a long time ago was being made to a group of high school baseball players who'd won some big games, and they were on the verge of making school history athletically. And as Tim recalled, all he was really trying to do was remind his kids, his players, not to allow their heads to get too big. That while the story they were writing for themselves as well as the school, it was indeed historic. The problem was that if they wound up believing their own hype, it could very possibly turn into their own downfall. Tim's message was that there's work left to do. Now, when I heard the story the first time, I also considered that it was a lesson in potential at both ends of the spectrum. In other words, it's true that no matter how high you think you may be, however accomplished, that there's never a point where your capacity to grow or your opportunities to learn will ever end. Of course, that's if we're willing to seek them out. But what about the other end? What about the other side of the spectrum? What about when we're struggling? When things in our mind, at least, they appear to be hopeless? What are the odds, do you think, that even still there are billions of people all over the world that would love to have the very problems that have you feeling like your very world is ending? You see that? Now listen, I'm not looking to delegitimize your concerns or cast aside your worries. All I'm trying to say is that in a different context, your circumstances may be the very same that someone, somewhere around the world, dreamt about just last night. We're talking about perspective. We're talking about the ability to be humble and grateful no matter what. I know. I understand. You're still not buying it, right? I get it. You see, I have to remind myself often of the same words, the same message. Because it's easy to get so involved in our own little worlds and forget about how big the real world really is and how fortunate we all really are. Again, on both ends of the spectrum, right? Let's take the time and let's make the effort this week to focus on the things and of course, the people that we're grateful for. If your energy is spent positively, thankful for the abundance in your life, it's amazing how much more is attracted. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me today, everybody. I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon.